Alright guys, we decided to go with a PvP in this one since the TSL players are playing so well in this qualifier. We want to show a little bit more of them, since we really don't have the chance to show all that much TSL normally in our regular league. It's going to be TSL value ban on the north side of Metropolis.
My favorite map in the world, Kevin. This is the best map that has ever been created.
And he is going to play against TSL Inori, our blue Protoss we saw earlier this weekend as well. And I also think we already decided on the next game, which is once more going to be a ZVT. This time between Gosu Ice Cream and TSL Revival. Since Revival played so well in his previous games, I want to see him again.
I bet you could play Base Race Void Ray Carrier on this map in PvP.
If Flux Veins was still there, I would. But
this is such a good map. This is.
I really enjoy so Metropolis as well. Maybe I just still enjoy it because it's still relatively new. Yes, it's been around for a little while, but
we've seen relatively small amounts of it. It was in the ladder pool for a couple weeks.
And actually, I was really sad they took it out. You know why? This was also still a pretty good map for Void Ray All-Ins. One of the very few.
Why they took it out?
I don't know, but this was one of the very few maps, guys, where you could still get away with a Void Ray All-In PvT. And every time I played Metropolis, when people were watching my stream, they're like, Rotty Void Ray! I was like, oh, come on, guys. And they're like, nah, come on one time. And then, okay. And then, like, after the game, when I win most of the time when I do Void Ray All-In, I see the chat and people are like, always when I watch Rotty stream, he's cheesing. I was like, oh, come on.
That's the online mentality, man.
I can just never do it right.
Everybody wants their cake. They want to eat their cake, and they also want another cake.
Anyways, guys, this is a PvP on Metropolis, and in general this is a very good Phoenix map, but this is also a nice map for Robo War Prism crazy stuff, certainly with close by air spawning locations. Or you can just play a standard. Basically, you can almost pull off anything here. I would even say that Blink Stalkers are relatively good on this map because the distance between the bases is quite long. So you can be quite mobile, and you have a little bit of area to blink around. It's really not a whole lot, but you have a little bit of surface area to blink into the main base.
I do think this is one of the best maps, certainly in these positions, for the Speed Prism Immortal stuff.
Yep.
And we don't see it often at all anymore. There was really a time when it was kind of common.
Yep, I agree. It was a moment where people actually felt it was really good. Now people are starting to get better again in defending it as well. And there are a couple of build order losses. The main reason why is that if you want to be effective with it, you have to go almost immediately for it. Now we do see this target, and this target is fantastic against Speed Prism play, Ben. It's almost unreal how good Stargate is against it. So that's one of the reasons why people stop doing it. And also, if you lose your War Prism with 2 Immortals in it against Blink Stalker openings,
might as well just never play StarCraft again.
I wouldn't go that far. I think that Inori is going to play a standard Robo game over here, Ben. I hope for him that he didn't have any one-base strategies in his mind, because that's going to be very tough, I think, against the Phoenixes. So if I were a good case scenario for Inori is that he's going to expand real soon, and then it's going to be annoying for him to defend against the Phoenixes, and it's inevitable that he's going to lose quite some probes. If TSL value decides to follow it up with an all-in, it's going to be actually Inori is going Blink Stalkers, Ben. That's not too bad.
Very interesting.
Blink is a little bit too late. I've seen quite some replays from Todd, former Fnatic Todd, now Root for Root Todd, and he actually played Blink Stalkers opening with Observer quite a bit on this map. So it's not the first time I see it. I enjoy watching replays of Little.
Of course, I'm sure the general consensus amongst all pros is that when perfectly executed, Blink Stalker is just the best way to play.
Yep.
So
I agree with that. Maybe besides Daybreak, because Daybreak is just so bad for Blink Stalkers. But
yeah, okay. Impossible to go anywhere really, except through the front. So, I mean, there's a lot that Inori can do with this opening.
I mean, the main reason, of course, why Ben is saying that is because there's really no build that Blink Stalker is not very good against, unless they go for a super greedy expand with Immortals and Sentries, and there's literally nothing you can do, and that's only possible if the base is just terrible for Blink Stalkers, which is, of course, the scenario at Daybreak.
First Phoenixes do kind of do the flyby. Did they kill any probes?
Yep, they killed 2.
And they see everything that's going on, and of course Value knows right away that he's going to have to be very mindful of how he controls these Phoenixes. Inori's just like, guess what, bro, I'm attacking you. What you going to do about it?
Well, there are a couple of Sentries, but he knows there's no Robo yet, so this is a little bit tricky. This is always a scary scenario. Like TSL Value needs to buy a little bit of time. What's going
Zealot
on,
going
Ben?
to make its way into the main base.
Ooh, Inori is aware of this, though.
Christopher Columbus Zealot. Wow, man.
A little bit too late there.
That is not the Christopher Columbus Zealot. That is actually the Bruce Lee Zealot.
As he killed, but Ben, TSL value is starting to have enough time. Blink is not ready yet. Are you going for the suicide blink, Inori? Will you really do that?
Well, he's got an observer. Well, I guess that is
He's
kind
getting
of a
the
suicide blink, isn't it?
Like
Three
right now,
Phoenixes, if he blinks
he
in
needs
that, he's
zealots.
dead.
He needs zealots. That's exactly what he does. Brilliant warp in right here by TSL value. Zealots is what he needs, because that makes it so much harder for Stalkers to just blindly blink in. And the moment value is going to have 2 Immortals, Ben, I think he's going to be more than safe.
Yeah, he's going to be in great shape. I'm a
Force field, don't let the Zealots go up!
that Inori hasn't expanded yet, but he's
So
really
close.
intent on doing something here. Will we see a high ground blink?
I think, well, there's 2 Immortals right now, and there are Zealots.
Man, the one most annoying Stalker in the history of the world. He's got 3 probe kills now. He's like, guess what? You're not allowed to mine on that patch. Immortals are going to come forward and finally chase off that little hit squad.
Picked off a Stalker even in the process. While these Phoenixes, of course, are dealing a little bit of damage in the main base.
Quite a bit of damage. 10 probes in total have died, Kev. Inori's down
Inori
on just 21
He's
workers.
just going to have to go for it real soon, but Ben, I'm afraid he waited just too long. I'm not going to say that going immediately for it would have been the right call.
Oh, that's a really cute force field, Kevin. Really, really cute play. And he is going to just pop right down after after doing that damage. Doesn't really incur any losses.
Inori's going to try to make something happen with force field. Goes for a sort of alt blink there.
Unfortunate.
Wow.
Oh, no. One Stalker stays alive barely.
I mean, he has to do something real soon, Ben. He's just going to lose this in the long run as he's still mining less. He doesn't want to commit to it. He doesn't want to lose more money. Now, of course, what TSL value can do is either just counter push or drop the Nexus immediately. Either way, I think it would be a right call.
I would almost prefer to see the expansion, honestly.
Zealot swap in.
Because the Blink Stalkers are still so mobile that a counter push could put value in a position that he loses some stuff.
Definitely true. So I think expand would be better as well.
And Inori's still just dancing around
I
the
mean, this is a little bit scary because of the potential force fields on the high ground. That would be really sick. If Inori pulls this off, man, because right now I feel that Inori is very far behind. He's been mining less for a very long time. He has an inferior army, despite the fact that he has Blink Stalkers. These Immortals, they are super hard counter, of course. If Inori wins this game, it would be sick.
But that really is the beauty of Blink Stalker, Kev. It would be sick, but it's still not impossible. Oh!
Well, you
Man,
see
that was the
that
most
sentry had a
awkward moment
nightmare,
ever.
man. He's like, I have to get through.
It's like taking a big poop.
That's exactly what it is. Poor sentry. Oh, we have still a little bit of Zealot harassment in the main base. Value just sacrificing Zealots, but for the greater good, as he's picking up so many
Up to
probes.
15
I think
probe
he
kills.
killed at least 17, 18, 19 probes right now throughout the entire game.
That's all because of that pylon down at 6 o'clock.
It's funny because units lost resource step is sort of close, but that's of course because Value is actually sacrificing real units as well.
This entire time, Value has continued producing probes, so I think he wants
this is
to
risky,
expand.
by the way, for Value to stand like this, because now those force fields could potentially land on the high ground and he could zone out units.
And that would be one of the ways that Inori could try to start
I mean, because
creating
at the moment
comeback.
you zone out units, you can actually blink Stalkers so easily on the low ground. If Inori pulls this off, I'm so impressed.
Oh.
He actually has more army supply right now, which is fascinating.
First Colossus is about to pop, though, and that makes force field less effective. That makes the army of Value even more scary.
Yep.
In the midst of this, Inori has been going up to Robo of his own. His own robotics bay is down. He'll never really have a Colossus lead, but at least he has that tech coming.
Plus is so exposed. But he couldn't go for the forward blink because TSL Value has force field as well. First force field will go down. One Phoenix falls immediately, but did he pick up the Observer?
Second.
Yes, he did, and I think that was more than worth it.
Yep, at the cost of 2 Phoenixes, there's no more vision, and a great couple of force fields there cost Inori another Stalker or 2.
Oh, nice play by either side. Tries to pick up the sentry, immediately escaped the graviton beam, or stopped it the moment he saw that the Phoenix was taking too much damage. Really liking it. Excellent high-level play from both sides. Now, of course, I can understand that people at home feel something like, PvP, nothing is really dying. But I think they are both playing really nice StarCraft right now. Both players are not screwing up in very tense situations.
Yeah, it's like StarCraft ballet, man. They're both sort of reacting to each other without making huge commitments in either direction. Man, that's so many Blink Stalkers. How many Stalkers? It's 19 Stalkers against 6, but it's of course all those other units that tip the balance. The 6 Zealots, the 4 Immortals, and that Colossus.
And the expand is going to be a little bit quicker for TSL value as well, and more important. Ooh. See. Well, there's Phoenix over here, and there's an observer. Wow, this is smart, by the way. Now, every time that the observer would spot the other observer, the Phoenix would immediately kill it. The damage output of this army is just too high for value, that you can't really be active with Blink Stalkers right now, guys. Because even when he tries to pick off one shot, the moment that 2 Colossus and 2 Immortals get some damage on units, they either immediately kill them or drop them very low in health.
Finally, that expansion's done for value. Ooh, again, Stalker's taking some shots, and again, they're forced to blink away. Value's economy is about to be superb.
He did pick up 1 sentry, but you're right. He's up 10 probes, and 10 probes in PvP is a world of difference. The only good thing is that he's going to mine out his main rules soon, but he will still be able to work with 36 probes, because he can keep the 6 probes in these Vespene guises and just put 30 in the natural.
Yes, sir. Value is again at least pushing back a little bit, forcing Inori to be incredibly selective about how he positions his army. Also, Blink's about to finish up for value, and that's going to give a lot more depth to that army. He is starting to warp in some Stalkers of his own.
Yeah, and that's also just in case that he knows that when he's going to move out, his army is stronger, so he doesn't want to be in a scenario where he has to play catch up all the time and is running around and is slow. He wants to be able to get a good blink off as well. This army is so scary by value, man.
Supply-wise, it's still a pretty close game. Only 5 army
nice
supplies
micro.
separating these two players.
That is true, but army-wise, this army is just so much stronger. And it's worth a lot more as well, as we can see, mineral-wise, gas-wise.
Stalker's still trying to just get a couple shots off and then dance back. But
there's that forward blink by value, gets a couple of Stalkers off.
Inori is now pinned back into his own. Oh. What interesting force fields.
Trying to buy some time for himself. These Immortals, man, these Immortals are the big problem. We have 3 Colossus, but nice blink there by value, but also a very nice blink by Inori.
And it's all going to come down to this. Immortals in front, taking all the damage and dealing oh so much damage. Looks like
they're very exposed though, but there are still a lot of blink stocks for value.
More reinforcements coming forward as well. Value's going to be just fine, Kev. He kills that Colossus. Now he has just superior numbers, and his own Colossus still alive. GG comes out of Inori. A very nice game.
Would be very nice if we could take a look at that final fight once more. And giving that just as a small cue to our production crew. Well, production crew. The NASL sound guy, man. He does everything. He's sort of like a handyman. Like he's good in everything.
Yeah, he's like the plumber you call.
Yeah.
When you jam up your sink or something.
Whenever there's a problem in your house, or in this case with your stream, you call the sound guy. Let's take a look at another fight, man. Like I thought Inori's blink was sort of nice. The blink by value was brilliant because it was 3 Colossus against 2. That could have made it a little bit tricky. Bomb. That's a brilliant blink. Then Inori is forced to make that blink because he wants to pick off the Colossus. He picks off 1, but that's all that he's able to pick off. And yes, right now the Immortals are very exposed, but they already dealt the damage to all these Stalkers.
And even though they ultimately die, they absorb so much more damage than any other unit that you could really have out there. So Inori tried to mount that valiant defense, but ultimately just did not have enough. What great play from Value.
Yeah, he played really good. He played careful, he played very safe, didn't overreact, didn't make any mistakes. He knew that he was in control of the game with the Phoenixes. As long as he wouldn't screw up, he would win that game, and eventually he did. We'll be right back with game number 2 between these two excellent Protoss players, so don't go anywhere.